This is insane. The Baltimore's master plan was just revealed. The GM, Mike Elias, and this team is moving in a new direction, and a recent report revealed shocking information. Welcome to another episode of Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And like I said in every video, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage, let's change it today. Come join Orioles Digest. We're giving you daily updates with the Baltimore Orioles every single day. You don't want to miss. Now, the Baltimore Orioles, nothing has changed, guys. Still one of the worst teams in baseball. So it's time to start thinking about the offseason 2026 and the future positions that's being held on this team. What's going to happen with Cedric Mullins? For surely, who's going to be the next general manager or the next manager, possibly, of the Baltimore Orioles? We're going to get into that right now. So, Yahoo Sports, ESPN, they put out an article that said featured the possible managers that could come to the Baltimore Orioles. You're familiar with these names. David Ross, Hall of Fame manager, has won a championship. Skip Shoemaker, very good manager. Ryan Flaherty. Remember, Ryan Flaherty was the heart and soul of the Baltimore Orioles when they were hunting for that playoff AL East 2014, 2012. He was that guy. He was that prospect we all came up and we thought he had the same hype as Jackson Holliday, but that career didn't turn out. But he's a really good manager. He turned into a player and went up to rankings in the manager rankings in the MLB and the minors very fast. So that's another potential option. John Heyman said of all of this in a recent BR stream. Also in the BR stream, John Heyman said, hey, Samuel Basallo could be up this season. Now, if the Baltimores continue to be bad, will they put him in position to play him and ruin his service time? I think if they keep Basallo down and he comes up maybe next year, they'll have more service time and a more compensatory draft pick, or if he wins Rookie of the Year next year. But it all depends on how the situation goes. If Maverick Hanley goes down and Adley Rutschman goes up, then obviously Basallo will be the next man up. And talking about the Baltimore Orioles, this guy, Ryan O'Hearn, has been amazing. But where is this team going to go? So we talked about the manager, Skip Shoemaker. I want to really emphasize you need a manager for this type of team, someone so experienced, someone who's won a championship, someone who has seen superstars, someone who's seen who the worst players in baseball and turned them into superstars, someone who's seen the highlight, the fame, everything, the bright lights, who's been in the New York City, the Big Apple, or in Texas, just something. We need some experienced person who has dealt with a young group of kids and made them to major leaguers every day. And that's what the Baltimore Orioles need. Brandon Hyde was a placement. He was a player's coach. He was the guy. They were friends with him. They were good buddies with him. He was the guy to get them to there. Now, after going to the playoffs, 90 straight wins, 2 consecutive years, and not winning a single game, they had to make an exception. And I always said it would have been good getting rid of Brandon Hyde. But now that I think about it, you should have just waited to the end of the season. If this is how it's just all going to go down, then Brandon Hyde has to go. Another guy who has to go is Jorge Mateo. I know we love his utility. I know we love him on base. He's one of the fastest players we've ever seen play baseball, but he cannot hit. He simply can't hit, and his defense is not as good as we think it is. Poor Jorge Mateo in center field misses fly balls, and it costs us games. It costs us runs. So why do we experiment with all these different types of players and do all this stuff when we have prospects and people and young players that play those positions that need a chance in the MLB? Just think if we had Kyle Stowers. Just think if we had Connor Norby. Just think if we had DL Hall. How different this team would be. How different we would if we didn't give up all those aspects just for a rental and Corbin Burns, and then also Trevor Rogers, who has pitched very good, but his first really good start with the Orioles. That was his first good start with us. He's been with us almost going on a year and a half. Um, Now we look at this: 19-36, last in the American League. Tony Manzillo, man, I have a bad reaction to pronouncing the name. I'm sorry, but yeah, the Orioles just don't have that manager to get them over the hump this year, and they're not going to go out and get a manager. this point of the season. You're going to have to wait until the off season and how everything goes because of the situation the Baltimore is in. But another thing I want to talk about for the Orioles, their bullpen is terrible. Remember, I always said this. Orioles rotation will struggle this year, but they're starting suit for the Baltimore Orioles. And the thing that's really going to drive them is their bullpen. I've said that over and over and over and over and again. The Baltimore Orioles bullpen is going to strive them to be the best team that they can be. And this bullpen has been horrible. It's been taxed. You guys have been put in different positions. When Brandon Hyde was here, he had a different plan, and now you switch to a new intern manager who has a different plan and doesn't know how to really succeed and put guys in different situations. Ciano Perez, DFA'd. Like what? Ciano Perez? That's been the guy that I was raving, gave up no home runs last year. He was horrible this year. So at a point, what is going to change? Is a manager really going to change the aspect of you winning games? I don't think so. It's more the player's fault and the pitching staff. Elias thought, yeah, I could just roll into this year. We could win 90 games with the talent of Gunnar Henderson, a breakout year of Jackson Holliday, bounce back year, and Adley Rutschman. He was very high on Ryan O'Hearn. I'll give him that. He was right about Ryan O'Hearn. Breakout year for Colton Cowser. He's depending on so many people in your offense, but you don't have a pitching staff. He was depending on Grayson Rodriguez's health. I was depending on Grayson Rodriguez's health, and he wasn't healthy once again. So it's like we're in this position with the Baltimore's every single year that we're always looking for the outside in. We're always looking for excuses when it's the general manager's fault. And Mike Elias that he's not putting the best prospects or the best not even prospects. He's not putting the best product on the field. He's not putting the best product in the clubhouse. Succeed. And when they get to a point where they can't succeed anymore, they're stuck in their block. This is not a dynasty anymore. This is not building a championship team. Now the Orioles to think how they're going to get to back to winning baseball once again because the team morale is gone. Everything is gone. They're as worse as Chicago White Sox, and that's pretty bad. Chicago White Sox is one of the worst teams in baseball right now. Not actually far behind the Colorado Rockies. We only have 20 wins yet, so it's been a tough road for Orioles fans. Um, One thing I'm gonna say: if you get a manager, you got to go with a guy like Ryan Flaherty. Get a guy who's been here. Get a guy who's been in San Diego. Get a young guy. Get someone who has some talent, who has experiences, and then also you can go out get a guy like Skip Shoemaker, who's experienced, who's been with superstars. You can whatever direction Michael Elias want to go, you have to go. But Elias is really on the hot seat as of right now. Thank you for joining the Orioles Digest. Once again, I'm your host, Kam Brice. Make sure you hit the like, comment, subscribe. I'll give you daily updates with the Baltimore's every single day that you don't want to miss. From Orioles Digest, I'm your host, Kam Brice. Have a great day.